All right, guys. Good morning. Hope everyone had a pretty good weekend. And so we're almost done with the material for the middle section. And so if you look at the syllabus or the updated syllabus of the schedule. So all this stuff here is going to be, or some of that stuff there is going to be on the midterm too, which is the take-home exam. And so we basically have there's two more exercises due today, which most of you guys have already done. And then we have another one to do today, which will be due next Monday. And then I think not Thursday, I think Wednesday, we'll do a little review for the exam. We'll do some practice problems. And then I think I'll give you guys the exam on Monday, and you'll have a week to do it. And so just like the syllabus says, the first midterm, or the midterm 2, is due Monday, April 27th. Okay, and so today we have example 14.1. Wednesday we'll do a review for the exam, and then Monday will be kind of a shorter class because I just have to distribute the exam basically, and you guys have a week to do it. And so that gives us kind of next week. So Monday you get the exam, and then Wednesday I'm not going to give you guys any new material before you finish the first midterm. And so basically next Wednesday there's not going to be any new material, but I'll still have the normal time just in case you guys have questions on the exam. And also I want to give you guys some extra days to make up any missed examples. And so next week's basically going to be you get the exam. If you want to log in and catch up on your past missed examples, then we can do that too. Okay, and I sent you guys a group email to the class, so hopefully you guys read that. I updated your grades, etc., so hopefully you guys saw that your grades for the assignments was updated based on the assignments we've done since the spring break. And let me know if you have any questions on that. You can still do any missed examples since the spring break, so double check that you should now have the 6 done we've done over the 2 weeks. And yeah. Okay, so question, let me see the questions. Okay, so we're reviewing for the midterm this Wednesday, and then I will give you guys the exam on Monday, because you have a week to do it. So let me just post in the chat kind of a tentative schedule for the next for the next week. So hopefully that makes sense, based on what you see on the syllabus and kind of what, I don't want to give you guys any new material before you finish the midterm because I kind of like to group the things. And so what you see here is that today we'll do our last example before the midterm, example 14.1. And then I'd like to do a midterm review on Wednesday, so make sure you come for that. And then I'm just going to give you guys, when you sign in on Monday, I'm just going to give you guys the exam as like a PDF, and make sure you don't have any questions on that. And then you have a week to do it. And then over that week, you obviously want to do the exam, but if you want to make up any missed examples that we've done since the spring break that you see on the syllabus, so you can do those up to the midterm date. So let me write that too. Okay, so again, today example 14.1, and Wednesday we'll do the midterm review, and then next Monday you can just log on for a minute, or actually you can log on. I mean, when you log on, I'm going to give you guys the exam and make sure there's no questions on that. And then next Wednesday we kind of have one day in between the midterm where I don't want to give you guys any new material, and so basically that's going to be I'll still be here at the same time, 7:40, and so I guess that'll be optional if you want to make up or have questions on missed examples, or in the midterm, you can come Wednesday, or I guess not come, but log in Wednesday, and I can help you with that. But if you've done all the examples and you've done the exam, then you don't need to come next Wednesday. But I'll kind of hold it as office hours. Is like I just want to make sure that if you have any questions or missed a day, et cetera, that I can help you on that day. And so if you miss some examples, I'm happy to go through the whole thing on that Wednesday if you guys want me to do that. All right. So any questions on the next 2 weeks? And then, like I said, most of you have done the examples, but if you need to make up examples, I gotta have those by the midterm due date, so I can I can update your grades and put all the solutions or examples finished for the examples. And then after the midterm too, we'll start new stuff. Okay, so doing a review, would it be like how you reviewed in class? Yeah. Yeah. So basically, I'm going to have a practice midterm, and I mean, I can't do it on the whiteboard, but I'll go through I'll give you guys a practice midterm or practice questions, and we'll go through all those, and then you guys will have the solutions to look at as an example for the midterm questions. And then the midterm will be similar to what we do in the review. Okay, and then again, any missed examples since the spring break over this second third of the class got to be turned in by Monday, April 27th, because I need to number one, post the solutions for those files, and number two, update all your grades for the examples. Alright, so any questions on anything that I just discussed or coming up to the midterm or anything like that? Okay. All right, you're welcome, Gonzalo, and Natalia, did I answer all your questions? Okay, you're welcome. All right, so what we'll do, so here we'll do example 14 today. Again, midterm review on Wednesday, and next week you get the midterm, and then Wednesday will basically be office hours. Okay, so chapter 14 is in the older textbook version, the PDF I put on the Blackboard site. It's chapter 16, so the one that says forecasting sales at Best Chips, that's the one we're doing. It's chapter 14 in the 5th edition, but in this one it's the same as chapter 16. Alright, and so also just a reminder that I started recording our WebEx sections. I don't have them all, but I have the last couple and I have them going forward. And so if you miss any of those days, or need to see something again to complete the Excel examples, the examples we did over WebEx, you can look at that if you want. Okay, so everything will be turned in to the discussion board. No. Okay, good question. Okay, so you're going to turn in midterm 2, or turn in your answer sheet via email, but all the examples that we keep doing will be a discussion forum for those. So I'll have the midterm 2 will be due. You just have to email it to me by the date. Okay, so it's like I said on the syllabus, it's due Monday, April 27th, and so I just want you guys to email it to me, and the reason is because on the discussion forum you can see everybody's work, and so I don't want you guys to share your answers for the midterm. I don't really mind with the discussion because it's more efficient, but yeah, so all the examples will continue to be via discussion forum. You see the appropriate spot for that, including today, 14.1. But yeah, I just want you guys to email me your answer sheet for midterm 2 when we get to that. And I mean, I'm not sure your technology limitations, but I guess like preferred would be a Word document or a PDF. But if that's not possible, I guess you can just send me pictures of your work. So whatever's easiest for you, but the smaller the number of documents I receive, the easier for me to grade it. But if you can't do a PDF or a Word version, then you can send me the pictures of your answer sheet. But do the other two if you can't. So. Alright, so submit into a PDF or Word document preferred, sent via email. If for some reason you can't do that, if you're not able to do a Word document or a PDF, then you can just send me pictures of it. Okay, so looks like there's no more questions right now, but if there are, let me know. And so let's start with doing example 14.1. Okay, so you can open up the example 14.1 document. Okay, and you can open up the exponential growth cell file. Alright, so here's what we're doing. Let me just read you guys the synopsis for example 14.1. This is the same one, but in the older edition it was a different chapter. So forecasting sales at Best Chips. The Best Chips company produces and sells potato chips throughout the country. Its sales have been growing steadily over the past 10 years, as shown in figure 16.2 and the exponential growth file, which we're going to look at. And so we've indexed the years so that one corresponds to 1997, and then the year two is 1998, and so on. But it's easier to do the analysis of it if the years are just numbered. So the company wants to predict its sales for the next couple of years, assuming the upward trend it observed over the past 10 years will continue. And so if the trend continues, what do we predict for sales for this company for the next couple of years for the potato chips? Okay, so here's the historical data in the sales for years 1 through 10. Okay, and our objective is to fit a linear and an exponential trend line to the company's historical sales, and to see which one better predicts the future data, and that's the one we're going to use to forecast the next 2 years using the past data. Okay. All right. So if you go to the exponential growth Excel file, that's the one we're doing right now. And so there's not much on it because we just have a little piece of data. All right. So these are the years and the sales in each year. So in years 1 through 10. that's the corresponding sales data next to it, and we're going to use that historical data to forecast the best we can the years 11 and 12. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is just make a scatter plot. Actually two of them, because we're going to do a linear and an exponential. So you can select all the data like this. Alright, so just select the A1 to B13. Alright, and you can go to Insert and Recommended Charts. So we just want the normal scatter, so just click on the All Charts tab. Okay, click on Scatter, and that's the one you want. It should be like a normal scatter that looks like that. Okay, and so let me post a question. Alright, so I think you have this feature in Excel Online, but I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure you can do at least charts. So if you can, let me know. Okay, and so if you have this chart, we're going to do one for the linear and one for the exponential. So let's just copy and paste the chart right next to each other. Actually, let's put it down below because we're going to do some other analysis at the top. So you can drag it down. Okay, maybe right there. Okay, and then you can just click on it so it's selected and copy it and paste it. So Control C is to copy. Okay, and then just click somewhere else. Control V to paste. Okay, so you got the two graphs. Put them down there starting in row 17 because we're going to do some other stuff at the top in a minute. Okay, and so what you want to do is let's label the first one. We're still in step one. Let's call this the linear. Okay, and let's call the other one the exponential. Okay, so we're going to make a linear tread line for the linear one first. We're still on step one. So click on the linear chart. All right, click on the plus sign or choose the chart elements. Okay, go down the trend line and hit the arrow if you have that option. And then more options. Well, it should give me the options box. Oh, there it is, sorry. Okay, let me do that again, sorry. The chat box was in the way of my file. Alright, so if you click on this, and then the plus sign, and then choose the tread line arrow, and then go to more options. Okay, so you see this format tread line, you want to leave it linear. Okay, and so this we haven't done before, but where it says forward, you want to put a 2 in because you want to forward 2 periods. And then you want to click display equation on chart. So you want the linear, you want to forward 2 periods, and you want to display the equation on chart. So it should look just like this, the box I have pulled up here. Okay, so linear, forward 2 periods, display equation on chart. Alright, and then let's format the tread line label so it's a little bit easier to see. And so I think, I don't think you can do the the trend line option with Excel Online or Google Sheets, but maybe you can. I'm pretty sure you can make the graph, but can't do the trend line, and so that's okay. You just need the equation, which you can see on mine. Okay, so right-click the equation and click on the Format Trend Line label. All right, and we can just change it to number with 0 decimals. Okay, so that's our trend line equation. We'll need to do the estimate. All right, so everybody good so far? If you're able to do these features. Okay, so let's do the same process for the exponential one. So click on the other graph, the exponential. Alright, so plus sign, and then click on the trend line arrow, and then more options. Alright, so you want to choose exponential because we're doing an exponential trend line for this one. Alright, and then choose those same two things. You want to forward 2 periods, and you want to display the equation on the chart. Okay, so exponential, forward 2 periods, and then display equation on chart. Okay, and then we can format that label if you want to, so it's easier to read. Just right-click the label. Okay, format trend line label. And this one you can change to number with 4 decimals. Okay, so number 4 decimals. Okay, so those are our 2 equations that we're going to need to estimate the parameters. Everybody good on the trend lines with the graphs, if you're able to do that? Okay. All right. So we're about to go to step 5, the predictions. But first, you want to put in the areas that, if you look at the Word document. Okay. So let's just set up our headers or our title to look like this. So we want to put in the predictions for the exponential and the linear, and the absolute percentage errors, the APEs for both, and also calculate the MAPE. So let's just put in a few titles before we start typing in equations. Okay, so let's just insert one row first. So click on the one like I have clicked on, and then click on under Home tab the Insert button. And then up here in A1, let's call this historical data. Okay, let's make the whole top row, you can make it bold if you want. Just click on the one and hit the bold button. Okay, then right here, let's call this is a predictions area, so let's title this predictions. And then over in F1, let's call this the absolute percentage error. Okay, and then E2 will be for the linear, and then E2 will be for the exponential. I'm just setting up the labels or the titles. All right, and then under the absolute percentage errors, F2 is for linear and G2 is for exponential. Okay, and down here in E16, we're going to need the MAPE, the mean absolute percentage error, the average of the error. So let's just put the title for MAPE right here. That's from E16, and you can make that bold if you like. All right, so now we're on step 5, and so we just have to calculate the predictions for both. For this step, so let's put in our predictions for the linear in D3. Yes, we're basically typing in this equation that you can see down there, and putting in the x values for it. All right, so in D3, let's type in equals. Okay, so the equation is 1 million, or sorry, equals 1,168,200 plus parentheses 92091 times A3. So all I'm doing is typing in the equation that you got for the linear trendline parameters graph. Okay, so see that equation right there? I just typed that in, and our x is time. So the first x is year 1, or just time period 1. And then when we drag it down, it'll do like year 2 and year 3. So we should get the linear increase over time on average for the historical data. Okay, so if you got that equation, you can just drag it down all the way to D15. We'll format this in a minute, but these are the predictions based on the linear model, and these two would be the linear model extended 2 periods in the future, so those are the forecasts for the linear. And now let's do the same for the exponential model. Alright, so see that equation right there for the exponential? It's a little small, but we need to type that in and specify that for the exponential prediction. So in E3, you can type in, I'm just going to type in that equation as I see it, equals, so that first big constant in front of it, Okay, so I'm just typing in that equation. So it's equal to, this is in cell E3, equals 1,227,762.1725 times the exponential function times exp. In the parentheses, these are what the exponential is raised to. 0.0541 from right there, and then times A3, because A3 is our x variable. Okay, so I just specified that equation down there in the exponential trendline equation, and I applied it up here. Alright, and so if you got that equation, you can drag it down, or actually, since we already had the area set up, just double click the bottom right corner if you've got that. Okay, and those are the predictions for the exponential, along with the two forecasted into the future for the 2 extra years. Okay, and let's just format these predictions to look like currency, so it's comparable to the sales data. Okay, so you can just select this area, which would be D3 to E14, and go to, let's see, under the Home tab. Format, then format cells. Okay, you can choose currency, and you can choose 0 decimals, but make sure you have the dollar sign on there. Alright, so there you go. So this is the actual sales data. This is the linear model, the exponential model, and then for years 11 and 12, these are the predictions if we were to use the linear or if we were to use the exponential to make our predictions. We need to look at the absolute percentage error, see which one has the lowest error, and we're going to choose that one to make our predictions for years 11 and 12. Okay, so we're about to go to step 6. Everybody good so far? Okay, so in, where are we? F3, let's calculate the absolute percentage errors. We've done this before, but we need to see which ones have the least error and capture the data better. Alright, so just type in equals. This is in cell F3 equals. Okay, so the absolute percentage error is the difference, actual minus predicted divided by actual, so it's how much it was off in percent terms. So for the first one, which we can apply to all the other cells once we get this one, is equal to ABS, the absolute value, $ B3 minus B3 divided by $ B3. So you can see there's the actual sales minus the prediction divided by the actual, and that'll give us the percent off that the prediction was from the actual data point. Okay, and so if you got that one, you can just drag it over to G3. Okay, and we can apply this formula all down the absolute percentage error column, so you can drag it all the way down to G14 for both of the models. I'm sorry, drag it down to G12 because the last couple cells, those are our predictions, so we can't have an error if we don't have the actual data. Alright, and then if you want, you can format this to look like percent, so it makes more sense to what you're seeing. You can select F3 to G12, and you can just, under the Home tab, you can change the general format to percentage. Okay, so the ones that have the smaller percentages should be closer to the actual data points, so you can see this one. Alright, the prediction was pretty close, so that's why the error is only about 0.03%. And the ones that are not close, like that one, so that one's 6% off. Alright, so what all we have to do now is to compare them, is to get the average of the errors, so the mean absolute percentage error is just what it means, the mean or average of the absolute percentage errors. So in E16, let's take the average of all the linear errors. Okay, so this is just the average of F3 to F12. And you can drag it over once to get the MAPE for the exponential, which is just the average of G3 to G12. Alright, so if you got this far, you can see that if you got the same thing I did, that the mean absolute percentage error for the MAPE for the linear was 3.14%, and for the exponential was 2.39%. So that one is lower on average, and we're going to choose that one. So just based on this analysis and this data, the exponential model predicted the data better. All right, so let's just let's just highlight that as our choice. Okay, and well, because the Excel file is titled exponential growth, you can probably guess that that's what we should have gotten. Okay, then so we're choosing the exponential model, and so can you guys tell which two numbers or which cells would be our predictions for um, the next 2 years? So we're using the exponential, and what are our predictions going to be for years 11 and 12 using the exponential model? Okay, so that's the exponential model extended to 6 in the future. So if we're using the exponential model, those are our predictions. So we can just make a note or let's just highlight those two. So yeah. All right. So using the exponential model, our prediction for year 11 is 2,226,193, and our prediction using the exponential model for year 12 is 2,349,948. Right. Okay. Did you guys get that? If you're able to follow along, we're pretty much done with the Excel version. I have a practice question I'm going to do, but we're done with this. This is what's due for the example 14.1 exercise. Anything we need to hear again on this, or any questions on example 14.1? Okay, well, if you're good on that, let's do the practice problem. And this is what you have to turn in for example 14.1, or as much as you can get. I don't think you can do the trend lines on the Excel Online version, but I think you can do everything else if you just use my equations. And so turn in what you can. Alright, so example 14.1 just goes there in a normal discussion forum area. And that one is due next Monday, like it says on the syllabus. Alright, so the practice question we're going to go through is on the previous midterm. So practice question 1 is midterm 2, fall 2018, question 2. And so we can open up that should be on the Blackboard site somewhere. So midterm 2, fall 2018. Let's go find that. Okay, so under past exams, midterm exam 2, fall 2018. You can open up that you can find on Blackboard. Okay, and that's the one we're doing. Actually, I think I already pre-solved this, so if you just, just go on Blackboard. It's probably easier just to go to example 14.1 section and then open up the example 14.1 practice question solved, because I solved it already. We can just go through that. All right. So here's the question, or the main things you need. So there's the equation for the absolute percentage error. Okay. You got some historical data for the best chips example, and the predictions for the exponential and the linear, and some of the APEs. And you just had to calculate some of the missing information. All right. So there's your linear equation, and then the next one is your exponential equation. You need to make predictions. Okay, so part A, these are the same exact questions from that midterm that I haven't solved here. So refer to the screen cap of the exponential growth model using the linear model. Calculate the APE for year 10. Okay, and so all you have to do is use your absolute percentage area general formula, absolute value of the actual minus the predicted, divided by the actual. So for year 10, you're trying to find that. Okay, so see, it is 2,200 minus 2,075,452. So this is the actual, and this is the predicted. You're trying to calculate how far off this was from this in absolute percentage error terms. Alright, so I just put those numbers in there. So the actual was 2,200,000. The linear prediction was 2,075,453 for year 10. And then divide that by the actual again, 2,200,000. And if you put that in percent terms and take the absolute value if you need to, then it comes out to 5.66%. Okay, and then you can do the same for the exponential model. So using the exponential model, also calculate the APE for year 10. Okay, so the actual is the same because it's the actual data, 2,200,000. And then this number is from the year 10 exponential prediction. All right, that's just that number right there, 2,094,105. All right, and that comes out to if you put it in percent terms and take the absolute value, 4.81%. Okay, so the absolute, you don't have to have the absolute value feature on your calculator or whatever to do this. So all you're gonna do is calculate the ratio and just take away the negative, right? If it comes out to like if it came out to negative 4.81%, then just put 4.81% because you want the absolute value. Okay, and then which model predicts the data better for year 10? And we see that the exponential model gave us 4.81%, and the linear gave us 5.66%. The lower the better, so we would say the exponential model is a little bit better because 4.81% is lower than 5.66. All right, so any questions on calculating the APE or what we're doing there? All right, so part D and part E are to calculate the predictions using the equations that were provided by the trend line. Okay? To calculate predicted sales manually using for year 11 using the linear trend line parameters. Okay, so all you have to do is use that equation that's going to be given. Y equals sales equals 92,212 times X plus the constant of 1,163,333. Alright, so that's what it presented is the constant of 1,163,333 plus the linear slope of 91,212. And our X value is just time here, so X for year 11 is just 11. So in the 11th term, that's what we're looking for, and that comes out, if you put this in your calculator, about 166,655. And so again, make sure it should be somewhat in the range of what you see in the predictions and the sales. So everything is like 1 million, 2 million. If your calculation comes out to like $2 or like 500 million, make sure it's in the range of what you should be getting. Okay, let's do the same for the exponential. Calculate predicted sales for year 11 using the exponential trendline parameter. So all we're doing is using the equation that's going to be given and putting in the x value. Okay, there's our equation, y, which is sales equals 1,236,6.107 times e raised to 0.054 times x. And you should have the e function on your calculator. I'm sure you could Google it, but if for some reason you're using a basic calculator, just type in e is like so e is approximately 2.7. So if for some reason you don't have the e function on your calculator or whatever you're using, then just use as a proxy. All right, so I just put in the parameters that we just saw from that exponential model. So year 11 sales equal the constant 1,223,36.107 and then times e raised to 0.04 times x. All right, and then x was just 11. So I'll put in 11 for x. And this prediction for year 11 for the exponential comes out to 2,210,296. And the last part F is what does the slope imply? What does the slope of the linear curve imply exactly? Okay, so the slope of the linear curve is 91,212, and that's our average increase in sales using the linear model. Right, so we can just interpret that as sales increasing over time on average. All right, so over the 10-year data set, sales increased by that exact number, $91,212 per year on average. So that was the average increase over time over the 10-year period. And if we expect that to continue, we can just, then the next year will be another 91,212 and so on. Okay, and that's the practice question for that one. And again, you can already posted the solutions with my answers under example 14.1 right there. And so you can see that if you need to look at that again or use it as a reference. Okay, any questions on this question? All right, so we are just about done for today. Example 14.1, the Excel file completed goes right there. Due next Monday. You don't have to turn in the practice question, just the Excel file. And that is due next Monday, April 20th. And so again, the schedule for the next 3 times I wrote up here. Alright, so if you scroll up in the discussion forum, you can see what I'm looking at here. So we did example 14.1. Then this Wednesday, in our WebEx meeting, we're going to do a review for the midterm. Then Monday, I'm going to give you guys the midterm and make sure there's no questions on that. And then next Wednesday, no new material before the midterm is due. So next Wednesday is basically just office hours, or I can, if you guys need to make up any missed examples or exercises, then I can help you do that. I still have the time via WebEx. Okay, so that's all I have for today. I'll stay on for a minute in case you have questions on anything. But if you're good on example 14.1 and everything else, then you're welcome to log off and come back on Wednesday at the same time, 7:40 for the midterm review. And as always, please stay safe and thanks for joining.